Hey guys, so I thought I would just hop on and let you know what's going on in my life right now and just give you a little update. The first big thing is I got my feeding tube changed. It was changed to a button tube, so it's a lot nicer. In my opinion, it feels better. Sorry, I'm like really bored. But it has an extension that comes on and off.
Here's a close-up. See, this is the button, and then this is the little extension thing that comes on and off.
I like it. It's more comfortable, and the reason it comes out the top instead of the bottom is because when it hangs out the bottom, it's really uncomfortable because I have like this, I don't want to say infection, but I have like this, I don't know, there's something going on underneath that it just hurts. And so when it comes out the top, also it's easier for me to keep an eye on, and it's harder to get caught on stuff because I can see what's going on with it. So that's why it's coming out the top. I had a follow-up with my GI doctor a while back ago, and he wanted to run some more tests to see what is going on, just because like when I was in the hospital, a lot of the tests that he decided to run were outpatient tests that we weren't able to do as an inpatient. So he wanted to run those. And then also it was kind of the deal where I'm not better yet, so we're going to see exactly what's going on, because this isn't just kind of like something that came and went away really in a couple of months, like a bug or whatever, but this is staying. So he wanted to see what exactly was going on. So he decided to run a couple more tests. He chose to do a gastric emptying test, which they've wanted me to do since like October, but it was always the fact that I couldn't keep it down, so the results would be inconclusive, and I still can't keep anything down. So they were kind of really hesitant to do the expensive test if the results would be inconclusive, and I totally understand. I wasn't really on board either, so we never did the test. But then he decided that we're going to do the test, and then he was going to talk to the technicians and be like, well, if she did throw up, could you maybe work it in just to see how much maybe she's keeping down, and then with the stuff she might be keeping down, how much she's digesting or whatever. And so that was our understanding when we went in to get the test. Turns out that wasn't the plan. I actually made vlog footage, but then I was so miserable I didn't finish it. So I only like did the beginning part, and then that's why I didn't post it. But what happened was, like, we got there and they're like, no, you have to be able to keep the food down. And we were like, well, I haven't been able to do that. And so then he was like, well, you can just keep swallowing. And that's really nasty. So I really, anyway, so I had to swallow a lot during that test, if you catch what I mean. It was very miserable, and then after a while my stomach started hurting like really, really bad, like pins and needles. It felt like I was being stabbed in my stomach over and over again, and I was just in a ball for the entire 4-hour test. I couldn't move. I would get up to get the scan, and then I would get back, and I would get back in my ball because I was in so much pain. I was so miserable. And also, I know it kind of sounds like I was able to keep food down during my test, but it was not. Like, it's not the same thing as keeping food down. I did not keep my food down. I threw it up, like, a lot, but I just had to re-swallow it. And I know that's nasty, but just, it's really nasty for me too, and that's not the ideal way to eat. I mean, I'm not going to do that again. Like, it's nasty. I have a feeding tube that's giving me nutrients, so I don't have to worry about swallowing my own. Yeah. I got my results yesterday, and the results are actually abnormal, which is like really kind of, I don't know, it sounds like it should be bad, but it's kind of awesome actually, because now I have medical proof that something's actually wrong. So that's exciting that they can maybe get a diagnosis from the results of the test, because now they have a test that says that something's not working right in my stomach. So how it worked was, like, I ate some radioactive eggs, And then I had to eat some toast and jam because it needed to be like a full meal. And then I drank some water. And so the reason that it was radioactive eggs is instead of having to have to get radiation to scan inside your stomach, you put the radiation inside your stomach, and then there's just a machine that picks up the radiation so that you don't have to be exposed to a whole bunch of radiation. So I had the radioactive eggs, and then there I was scanned, and so at 0 minutes I was scanned, and then at 60, so every 60 minutes I was scanned, and so at 0 minutes 100%, and then the first 2 times, like, they were still in the normal range for the first 2 hours, but it was like at the very high end of normal, where like if normal is 50 to 90%, I was like 85% or something. So I was at the very high end of normal, but then for the last 2 tests, I was outside of normal. And so for the last scan after 4 hours, 4 hours after I ate, there was still 20% of the food that I ate still in my stomach, and normal percent is 0 to 9%. So I was way out of normal. So that's just the results, though. I don't have a diagnosis or anything. The doctor has to look at the test and then decide what the diagnosis is from there. And so we haven't got a call or anything from my doctor saying he wants to come talk about the results or anything. We're pretty sure that he's waiting for all the results. And we're not really in any kind of hurry because I'm stable, so we don't need to worry about anything. But it's exciting to have those results and to know that something is most definitely wrong and not just, you know, my body making itself vomit for no other reason than to make itself vomit. So it's exciting that something's actually wrong, as crazy as that sounds, but like for so many doctors to look you in the eye and say, oh, you must just be crazy, and then to hear that something like you're not crazy is pretty amazing. And so after that, a couple days later, they gave me a EGG. So it's just like your EKG of your heart, only it's measuring your stomach. So I had to go, and I sat there, and they hooked me all up, and then they ran the machine, whatever they did, and it measured me, and then they had me drink in an enormous cup of water. Like, I'm not kidding you, the cup was like this thick at the bottom, and it like went up, like it was like this tall. I'm not kidding you, it was a huge cup. It was probably like half a gallon, I don't know, it was huge. And so I had to drink all that water, and I wasn't allowed to move or do anything. I just like laid there, and I wasn't allowed to talk. So I mean, there wasn't a TV or anything. I was literally just laying there. I'm pretty sure it was 40 minutes. It felt like forever because I wasn't allowed to do anything. And then a couple days later, actually the very next day, I had a test, which is a breath test. Not like they thought I was drunk or anything. So what they did was the test itself, like I breathe in and it measures the chemicals in my breath to see if maybe there's an overgrowth of bacteria in my body, because that's one of the things they were thinking of. So what they did was they made me, I came in, and then I blew into this bag, and then they sucked the air out of the bag, and then they put it in a machine which measures the chemicals, and then they had me drink a cup of sugar water, and oh my gosh, the sugar in that water, let me just tell you, I think it was probably like a third of a cup of sugar. A third to a half a cup of sugar, and then like there was like this much sugar in the cup, and then from there they just added like water up to here, and then they stirred it all in, and they're like, okay, now drink it. And it was so thick, it was like thick like syrup. It was disgusting. It was nasty. Anyway, so I drank that, and then they told me to swallow a bunch, which, you know, as nasty as it is for you to hear, it's like 500 times nastier to actually have to do. So it was really gross. So then that happened, and then we haven't got the results of the last 2 tests, so we've only got 1 result. But I thought I'd come on here and give you a little update, and then I'll get on and tell you the results of the tests. But it's exciting that my new GI doctor is like super concerned, and like he keeps saying that he's been looking up more reasons, and he's working really hard to try and figure out what's wrong with me, and he's really awesome and he's super nice. So it's exciting to have a doctor that's willing to like go the extra mile to try and figure out what's wrong with you, instead of just like write it off as something wrong in your brain, or you're just your body trained itself to vomit or whatever. Which, I mean, it is a medical condition and it is a possibility, but now we have medical proof that it's not my body training itself to vomit, that something is actually wrong, and it's really exciting. There's my little update. I will definitely get on and tell you guys how my test results come back, and then when I get my appointment with my doctor to talk about stuff. So I will update you guys later.